All right, so we did 1 and 2, and question 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 are very similar. I'm going to show you a couple cheats and a couple ways to do it authentically. But we are going to graph and identify the vertex of each function. So now we're going to graph them. And so you're going to use the Desmos graphing calculator, which I would send to you. You can also Google Desmos graphing calculator. So pause this and Google it. Or if you have the calculator up, you can go to Math Tools. This is the calculator we usually do. And then go to graphing calculator. But we're going to graph this because it actually will do all of this for us. The vertex is either the very highest or the very lowest point of my parabola. So a parabola, this parabola, it will only have a high or a low. It won't have both. So my parabola right here has a very low point, and my parabola up here has a very high point. At this point is my vertex. So let me see. We're going to graph y equals x squared. Well, let's put that in our calculator exactly how we see it. So let's go to you might want this keyboard down here, but you also can use the keyboard that you have. Y equals x squared, and we want that squared button, x squared. We're just putting this formula exactly how we see it in our calculator. And then Desmos is fun. Desmos and fun. I would use this for your quiz. And you can find the vertex just by clicking on it. I know my vertex happens at the very bottom of this parabola, and my vertex is going to be at 0, 0. 0, 0. Let me write that nicely. Oops. 0, 0. And I'm going to graph that. I'm going to go put a point at 0, 0 that's right in the middle. And my parabola is going up. Both of the ends of my parabola are going up. So I'm just going to ballpark where it is. We're going to graph more accurate parabolas as the unit goes on, but for today, it's okay. And then that's how we can do this problem. This problem looks a little tricky because I don't have the I don't have parentheses and all that stuff. So I like to do that when I run into one of those problems. But I also, though, when I have a normal problem like this formula for problem 4 looks a lot like my main formula up here. So I can figure out my h and my k easily here. In this problem 4, my h is my number in the parentheses with x. And remember our note that we wrote to ourselves, h is the opposite from the sign in the parentheses. So here h is equal to positive 3. But h is equal to the opposite of that, which will be negative 3. And then k is equal to the number all the way at the end of my formula, and it stays the same. K stays the same. So the number all the way at the end of my formula is negative 4, and it stays the same. So my vertex is going to be negative 3, negative 4. And I'm going to graph that. Another thing that I need to know when I'm graphing is how to graph these points. So the first point when you are graphing, the first number is how many you go left or right. So 3 is negative. We associate negative with left. Go find negative 3 going left and right. Left and right is this way. So negative 3 is over here. And then the other number is how many you go up or down. So negative 4, we associate that with down. So I'm going to go to the left 3 and down 4. That's my vertex. And I need to know if my parabola opens up or down. And I don't need my calculator for that because I can look at the number all the way at the very front of my equation. Remember, A is that number at the front of your equation. And if A is positive, it opens up. And if A is negative, it opens down. So the number all the way in front of my equation, remember when there is no number, I don't see any number here. There's going to be a 1. And that's a negative 1 because there is a negative symbol there. So A is negative. So my parabola is going to open down. So I want something that looks like that. I will do the last 2 problems on the last video. So please watch that last one and then you will be done.